Alright guys, in this video we're going to be talking about Roberto Zerbi. Is that how you pronounce his name? You know what I'm like, don't you? If it's not John Smith's or Jack Daniels, I ain't got a clue. Roberto Zerbi, we're going to be talking about him. Now, in the last few days, possibly week, we have seen a lot of reporting regarding release clauses of the likes of Amorim, Alonso, and so on. You know, we're starting to see those things come out, like it would cost this if Liverpool wanted to do that, you know, and all that. And the first thing that many people will think, as being a Liverpool supporter, is, well, FSG, they won't want to pay that. They'll go for the cheapest option, right? Today, or should I say in the last 24 hours, the focus has been on Roberto Zerbi and his release clause. Brighton would want £12.8 million, which makes him the cheapest appointment in terms of a release clause, unless, you know, for managers in employment. As far as I'm aware at the moment, I might have missed something. I was away for a few days last week. He's been linked with Liverpool. He's been linked with Manchester United. He's been linked with Barcelona. He was second favourite for the Liverpool job for quite some time. He's been pushed out now to third favourite, with Amorim coming down a second time right into second favourite, which I think is accurate. I would say I think it's between Alonso and Amorim at the moment, but there's also other candidates out there, Nagelsmann, for example, and that fella that I mentioned yesterday, what was his name, Sebastian Hoeneß, who apparently isn't even listed on some betting exchanges, but someone's had a fucking lot of money on him on Bet365. But anyway, we're talking about Zerbi. That's the one. I've got to be honest, when I first saw him linked with us, mentioned with us, I was like, that's the FSG one. You know what I mean? That's the FSG appointment. But information posted on the members' website a few weeks ago suggested quite the opposite. It suggested that FSG favoured Alonso. I think that was the exact title of the, we call it a thread, discussion, debate, topic, update, whatever, was that FSG favoured Alonso. There are suggestions that if Edwards comes in, he might favour Amorim, you know. Don't know, but this video is about Zerbi, and the only reason I'm making this video is to tell you about that release clause, all right? Because you might not be aware of it. That's how much it would cost. I think, you know, like, I feel I've been quite positive towards Fenway in the last few days. You know, I've just been to England, you know. I went last Tuesday, I came back on Sunday, and I said to you in my first videos back on Monday, my tolerance levels are high. They're not anymore. Yeah, I'm being very cool and chilled. If they get this wrong, though, there'll be fucking hell on the tripod. I mean, this is the tripod, but people old school, when I hear back in the day, get the tripod out, Dunk. It wasn't a euphemism. You know what I mean? We'll go fucking mental if they get it wrong. Right, I've got to put these on because it reflects the light. I have been a bit positive about them recently. But I think that's because, I was going to say, do you know what I was going to say then? I think that's because people within the club have been pretty chilled about them. However, there has been some criticism of the owners of late, but I guess that was to do with Bellingham, Klopp leaving, that kind of thing, which I did videos on earlier in the week about that. About those claims. It came from a very good friend and source. I hate using that word. A very good friend of mine, contact, whatever. But we don't need to go into that. But because it's the past now. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can go on as much as we want about Bellingham, have our own theories about Bellingham, our own theories as to why Klopp's leaving. But it doesn't really fucking matter, you know, because people still, you know, they'll say to me about Klopp leaving and I'm like, get over it. Like, it sounds brutal, but it's like, we can't change it, right? Of course, there's going to be tears shed, we're going to be fucking devastated, you know, but we can't change it. And if, you know, with the Bellingham situation, if they pulled the plug, you know, or whatever, we can't change it, it's fucking done. And there might be reasons for that we don't know, you know. to be honest with you, when you think about information that is leaked from the club, from credible people, it's usually criticism against the ownership, but not the manager. When was the last time you ever heard anyone come out and say, hey, you know what, Jurgen was bang out of order with that? It's just, you don't hear it, do you? And maybe he's innocent. Maybe he's never made any, mistakes or whatever. Maybe the owners are just a bag of shite. But you always hear people defending the manager. And is that because we're fans and you can do no wrong? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes in any business, there are decisions made by executives for the good of the company, the organisation, the franchise, whatever, and you have to suck it up. I don't know. But I have been quite positive. I seem to have faith in the owners with this situation. But I think that's based on what I'm hearing and what I'm not hearing. It's true, guys. So I'm quite chilled at the moment. If they appointed Roberto Zerbi, he would get my full backing. I just don't think that's going to happen, do you? Although there'll be some of you watching this going, Dunk, if he's the cheapest release clause, it'll be him. So remember, I don't know if you watched my previous video today about Alonso and Bayern Munich again, but Bayern Munich, very loud at the moment, but you're not hearing anything to do with Liverpool. And I think that's a good sign, because usually when you hear noise and claims, it's usually because someone wants that out there. Maybe things are not going right. Or maybe it's to try and derail Bayer Leverkusen's title challenges and unsettle things and give Bayern Munich an advantage. We're talking about German football every day. Who gives a fuck about German football? Can't stand it, me. I'd rather watch this shite here, look. Women's Super League, yeah, all right. I just don't like women's football. But I don't like youth football either, or international football, unless it's the World Cup finals or European Cup finals, Euro finals. Anyway, by the by, German football, I'm not interested in German football. Who in their right mind would want to manage Bayern Munich over Liverpool Football Club in the greatest fucking league in the world? You know what I mean? There are some suggestions, though, that maybe Xabi Alonso wouldn't want to pay, so much tax. I don't know. Someone tell me, what's the tax situation in Germany? I ain't got a fucking clue. Do you know what I mean? Let me know what you think. Anyway, Roberto Zerbi, that's his release clause. It's not really important, I don't think. I don't think that the owners are going to make an appointment on the next manager of Liverpool Football Club based on a release clause. I know some people do think that. I don't think that. You're talking about your long-term returns, right? So anyway, that's it. I'm going to leave it with you. If you appreciate the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please give me a comment if you want to buy me a coffee or a vodka on Saturday. Get in there. Hit that super thanks button. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, guys. See you in a bit. All right.